Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me here in my shop on January 19th, 2023. And so just before I started the camera, I just walked in here basically, and I thought, oh, that's right. The pointer was acting up again. It seemed like the tuning dial was slipping, so I just whipped it back and forth once. When it got up here, there was a pinging sound, and then things changed a little bit. Let's take a close look at what happened. I already know what happened, but let's just take a close look at it and see what we can see. Come down here. So I know what there is to see. Okay, so unfortunately the autofocus, can I fool it? Oh, you darn camera. Okay, well anyway, you can see from here, the string has popped off the pulley and fallen into here. That was the pinging sound. Now why did that happen? That's because of the way the string is. This slider's not appropriate. It's pulling the string too close to the slide bar. And when you get up in this area, ping. Now I already kind of determined that this is not in the right place on the string, which is really the first thing we've got to deal with. But is this actually a better arrangement, having it off and in there? Because now the string is running closer to here. There's much less tension buildup in it. I apologize for the focus of my camera. So now what about the slipping? You heard the capacitor clunk closed? Well, I don't know what the slipping was yesterday. Certainly not slipping now. And it could be because the string has popped off and is just in the on the shaft itself. That's not the end of the world. I don't think it can dismount from there. There's still a lot of tension in the string. Okay, we're going to leave it like that for now. Carry on with the alignment situation. The alignment work I did yesterday, the pointer was not a factor. But today, the pointer is a factor for sure. So we're going to have to get that sorted out right off the bat. So that's step number one. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions here. Okay, so we've completed number one. Now we're doing number two. Same input connection to the stator of the tuning capacitor. I'm going to pump in this frequency, that's top of the receiving band. Gang fully open. So in this radio, when the capacitor is fully open, the radio should be tuning 1620. So then they want you to adjust the oscillator, the local oscillator that's inside the radio, the mixing oscillator, to basically tune the radio to the dial to make the radio produce sound when a 1620 signal is fed into the antenna and the dial is at its maximum. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. But wait a minute, we have to think about the position of the pointer before we do this. Didn't it talk about it up here? Or did it talk about it up here? It talked about it somewhere, didn't it? I thought I read about it. Oh, it's going to be over here. Dial, stringing, and pointer with solid lines shown with gang closed. Dashed line pointer position 1400. Shown when tuning gang is tuned to generator signal. What? Dashed line pointer, that's this. If you notice, the shape of the pointer slide is different than what's on the actual radio. So there's more proof that this doesn't have the original slide on it. In fact, this is the pointer part right here. How'd that work? These pieces didn't stick down. So they don't quite show us how this is shaped, but I'm going to guess this pointer part is actually protruding quite a ways forward. So it comes out and you can see it right there. while the rest of this is tracking in behind. Dash line pointer 1400. But over here they're talking. Oh, here's 1400. Okay, dash line pointer position 1400 shown when tuning gang is tuned to generator signal. It's a little bit misleading, isn't it? So 1400 is this point here. Well, let's look on the radio and see. We'll find. Doesn't talk about what this hole is. Interesting. They have 10 marked, but they don't say anything about it anywhere in the instructions. Okay, let's go on 14 here. We'll use the slider I've got, edge of it on the 14, and then that should be 1400. Edge of the pointer. That must be the little dot right there. So dial this up. You like that? That's actually the end of the run. So I wonder if that's what the previous guy did. What does that even mean, what you just said, John? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? That says 10, doesn't it? That says 14. That says nothing. That says 10. So 14 way down here. This is probably almost the same size as the original. Well, is that really 14? Is the radio really going to try to receive 14? Okay, that's where we're going to start. And the first thing I'm going to do, I got to warm up a little bit of equipment, including the radio here. Let's just see if it's all safe and secure. I guess I'm confused. I thought there was a light on this, but I guess there isn't. Okay, and this guy over here warming up. Okay, we're going to let things warm up. There we go. You kind of wonder, would a motor like that cause interference? Excuse me, I don't think so. That's a brushless motor. That's a synchronous motor. Okay, we'll let everything just sit here for 10 minutes while I clear my throat, and then we'll carry on. Okay, let's find out if the radio really is tuned to 1400 or where. This is the output from the signal generator. I'm just going to lay it near the antenna here. I'm not going to make an actual connection. I'm not even going to lay it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so keeping an eye on this. When we get to 1400, we should hear it. Let me just boost up the output power here. Where are you? Okay, so we're not receiving it yet. I need a better way to interface things. Where's that nice little antenna? Here it is. Here. Hook up the signal generator to this loop of wire. Okay, watching the numbers again. Oh my gosh. Where is it? Is that something not right here? What could not be right? Dialed to 14. Let me couple this really close to the antenna then. Okay, it's like an inch away from the antenna now. Oh my gosh, there it is. 12. Wow. That's way out. That's way, way, way out. Is there another spot on the dial? Well, actually, the numbers were written on there, weren't they? Like this. This says 14, so if we come down here, we'll come down to the 10 and we'll try it there. Okay, so it's done the same way now. The edge of this corner. See the last guy, he may have used the center of the pointer or something. 10, so we should be at 10. Uh-oh, my frequency counter's gone. Screwy. Okay, so it does that now and then. There is an indicator here. Very hard to see. We want it to come down to 10 megahertz. I don't think I can. Here we are, right in here. 10. So it's stopping at the bottom of its range. Let's go to the next. Now I'm way down to 300. So, yeah, I could be at 455 here. Come on, frequency counter. Okay, more coffee. It just takes some time for that to decide to work again. More coffee. Okay, just turned it on and off and it started working right away. So there we are. So we're at the IF frequency. Remember, this part of the radio is designed to tune 455. And even though the signal, I'm shoving it in here, some of the signal is making it into here, coming out the speaker. That's why we can hear it. But that's not what we're interested in. We're interested in it's a little much for the radio. $880 when it should be 10. Okay, let's go right down to the other end. Okay. Spot the mark, 6. Position this again, just on the corner, as in the instructions. Am I in the right corner? Did I move up here? Am I in the wrong corner? Let me just peek at this stuff here. No, I'm on the right corner. Oh, wait a minute. Not down at this end. At this end, they show it the other way. They show the pointer actually being passed. That's odd. That would lead to a confusion. I can't go any further, can I? Yes, I can. I can almost get the center post to line up with the circle. And are we slipping now? Is that what's happening? Okay, end of the road. Well, where are we anyway? End of the road. We should be around 530, 540, something like that. Let's find out. $530 or so. So it seems like what's happening is it's fairly accurate here, and it's probably getting more inaccurate as you go out. Certainly needs something to be done. One possibility is the moving of the pointer on the string. I'm pretty sure that's where we're heading here. The other one is the difference of the pointer. What would you call this? Carriage? We'll call this a carriage. Is causing this. I can't see it. It looks to me to be roughly the same size, so dimensionally I should be positioning it correctly. Okay, let's do what somebody might do without thinking too hard. Put the center of this on one of these marks. We'll go back up to the 14. The 14 is here. We'll put the center right on it. So the pointer's right on the 14. Yep. Is this 14? It's way off. It's way, way, way off. Okay. I think probably our best move now is just to follow the instructions exactly as they're written and do what it says. Although I don't need to pump the signal in by a direct connection, I can continue to use this coil here. So we want to pump in 1620, gang fully open. Gang fully open. So we're going to push this all the way. Okay, I think that's it. You cannot open the gang all the way. Look at this. When I do this, watch this white wire here. The wire is getting caught in the plates of the capacitor. Well, why would that be the case? Probably not a critical factor, but let's pull it over this way a little bit. And you can hear the capacitor. Well, something's hitting the end of something. I think that's the end of the rope. I wish I could get right in there and see it, but these heat deflecting shields are blocking the view here. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the end of the road. So now it's wide open. This should be tuned to 1420. But what does it receive now? Okay, this isn't really adding up very well. No, at the end of the run it's 1620. What am I saying? 1620. But what in fact it's 1460. No wonder I get confused doing this. And the reception's very poor. So we want the radio to be working. We want this to say 1620. You have to adjust the radio. Okay, the oscillator adjustment is I'm just looking on the information here. Oscillator top, antenna bottom. Oscillator top. This will be the oscillator. It's also the smaller plates on the capacitor. So now we want to make sure I'm going the right way here. So we turn this in the direction we want to go. This. I'm using a metal screwdriver. So I think we're turning it counterclockwise. It's very hard to hear. Let me put this closer. Okay. Go a little further with the frequency setting. Okay, I'm going to go a lot further. Find it. See, it's getting a little louder. Didn't it seem that way? We'll go there. Find it. Right on by. I like to call this process hopscotching. I don't really know why, but I do. Okay, now we'll dial up 1620. Now I've got to switch now from there over to the meter here, which I haven't even got on. The meter's still connected. So we should be able to use this to do the final adjustment, which is a little better than listening. Okay. It's independent of the volume. We just want to make this meter go up as high as possible on the final adjustment here of the oscillator. Now, strong signals making the AVC do its thing. Can make it a little bit difficult to get a really sharp response, so we can reduce the signal going into the radio by doing that. Okay, still hear it. You see this has dropped. Change the scale. Very weak signal now. Okay, so now the radio is receiving 1620 when the capacitor is wide open. And compared to other radios doing this, I had to adjust that capacitor up quite a ways. Very nice capacitor though, very smooth adjustment. Okay, now we'll go down, we'll compare what, we'll see what we got out of that. We'll follow the same rule, use the corner here. We're lined up on the 14. Now, how close are we to 14 now? Still quite a ways off. Okay, I'll set this to 14. Find out where the radio needs to be tuned, where the dial needs to be set to achieve 14. Okay, do that. The radio seems to be more responsive. It's just picking up noise though. Where's that signal? Hey, where you go? Okay, I'm going to more closely couple the signal generator, make it easier to pick up. Jeepers, stay there. String's still slipping a little bit. Doesn't want to tune right to the key spot. Don't want to go there. Very odd. Okay, I'm going to help it. Okay, so that's 14 now. Where are we dot-wise? Well, interestingly enough, we've just about centered this on the upper dot. That's the wrong dot. This is the 14 dot. This is where it should be. Good question would be, is the 14 that's written here, we're supposed to line up with the edge of this in a different position from the radio itself. The radio dial would show 14 where the pointer is. Why would they even do that? Why wouldn't they just put all these in exactly the right spot, right in the center of the pointer carriage? I got the answer. The answer is, when you push this down, the original slider covered these holes. Why even have these holes? Yeah. Why even have these holes? Okay, so what's the situation here? We have the radio receiving 1620 when the capacitor is at its maximum limit, and that locates the 1400 in the wrong place because the pointer's in the wrong place. The pointer is coming up too high. We see it interfering with the top here. it doesn't make it all the way to the bottom. The pointer's in the wrong place on the string. I think we can be pretty sure of that. You should move the pointer, or follow the instructions. I would move the pointer based on the idea that this carriage is the same size, just a ½ inch down. Okay, and we saw the pointer appeared to be glued with hot glue. Hot glue is like melting plastic. Oh, my meter's pinned over here. Didn't notice that. Well, I can try to force it on the string, just as it is, or I can try heating it up and then force it. I think the heating it up thing is a better move. Let's get a view of it. Let's take a look with the camera right down in here, just to see what we're dealing with here, because sometimes the images in our heads don't match reality. Isn't that something? Okay, see, can we see it there? And I'm just going to be driven nuts by the focus, so let me fix the focus here. I'm going to take manual control of it, even though the autofocus just worked. Autofocus is just not a friendly thing doing this kind of stuff with the camera. Okay, so I'm going to fix it right there. Now, fixed focus won't change. Just can't quite see in there. There we are. So it really looks like you just laid the string across and dabbed some glue in there. It would look like the string could pop out of the glue. Let's see if we can see this way. Can't really see. Just the metal bracket is in the way of seeing the glue. And move this to a more favorable spot. Maybe. Yeah, right in here I can actually dip the camera into the cone space. I'm not going to get a really good look at it. Well, I don't have a lot of options here either. What can you do here? Either tug on it the way it is or apply some heat. I think I can apply some heat. Dummy! You've retuned the radio. Can't do that. Let's put it back. Okay, I'm not so. Again, it's got this spot here. It does not like this particular spot. Hopefully Mrs. M isn't looking for a station at 1400, because this radio's not happy to go there. Okay, I'm going to help it out. Okay, so it's receiving 1400, and we think it should be about a ½ inch below that. Power off. Power off. So I have a hot air gun here. It won't take much to heat it up. So that we can use. And the next deal is how to push it on the string without the string moving. So we need to freeze the string in place, because I'm going to put a fair bit of pressure on this probably to make it move. I may put a fair bit of pressure. I wonder if I could even sink it lower. I don't think so. Well, let's try just pushing on it without anything. If it moves, I'll just have to... Can't we make a little mark here? Can we make a little tiny mark so I don't have to find the spot again? Green dash. Did anything actually go on there? Yep. I had a green dash touch low. So my parallax error when I did that. Okay, so we're gonna try to freeze this from moving and push this down without breaking the string. So I'm feeling, it feels really solid to me. It feels like it does not want to move at all. It has not moved at all. Okay, so now we're going to apply the heat. Bring in the heat. This is a hot air gun. It's really hot. Can be really hot if you set it that way. But it has temperature controls on the soldering iron over there. You can see the red numbers flashing. I've got it set to, I think, 100 degrees C. It's pretty warm. It's warm enough to soften up the glue. Now, is there anything else in here that's going to get hurt by this? No? Just my feelings. If it doesn't work out, we're just going to blow some heat up in here. I don't really know for sure what's heating. Just heat this metal piece so it'll conduct the heat down into the glue. How hot do you think that is? Okay, we're pumping 100 degrees C air out of the thing. Oh, do you think it's soft? Anybody want to take a guess? I'm going to put my finger on that now and get burned. 100 degrees. Feel that. Okay, let's set this aside. That's a cool down routine it does right at the end there. Okay, can we move this? How can we touch it? Not very hot. Does it go anywhere? I don't think so. So aside from moving this to make it accurate, the other reason to move it is so the dial won't get so it won't interfere up in here. It really does need to be moved. Apply heat to it and pressure and just wait for it to kind of soften and go. Get out a blowtorch. Burn the string. And there's other reasons for not using a blowtorch. I don't have any other alternatives other than keep heating it. Now maybe the heat just dissipated away from here like crazy. It's warm, but you know, the big bracket's going to dissipate the heat away. And this is barely in contact with it. Okay, another thing I could do, I could heat it up and try pulling it off. Just pull it right off. The string pops out, put it in its right spot, and glue it again. I don't like that idea. The reason why the string is not wound through the back of this the way it's supposed to be is what a difficult thing that would be. Gluing it a lot easier. But you see the problem with gluing it, you glue it in the wrong spot, somebody like me's got to come along and somehow deal with it. Put a tool on there to keep my fingers from getting burned. I'm not sure I like that idea very much. I only have two hands. One free hand like this. That's not too good. Let me stabilize my hand. Let's try it. When I've done similar things in the past, what I've found is things go from stuck to loose instantly and surprisingly sudden. So I'm able to pull this right off the radio. Okay, I'm not putting any pressure yet, I'm just letting it heat up. Okay, going down. Oh, see what I mean? Okay, where's it supposed to go? Right, that's 10. There, right about there. Oh my gosh, it's still on the string? Now it's way high. Where do we end up there? He says. 14's here, not way up there. You dummy, you dummy. You dummy, but I got the method. I got the method. Let's try this again. What a dummy. You know, I'm doing this without enough light. That's why that happened. Okay, trying again. This time I got to push it in too, because I pulled it out just like I predicted I might. Okay, it's loose. It's in the right spot. Sure, the glue's gone hard already. I think it's about the same. Right. This time though, I'm on the 14. I'm on the 14, signal generator 14. What have I done? What have I done here? Okay, power on to the radio. And if everything went right, we should hear the 1400 from the signal generator. There it is. How far out? A whopper. The signal there. 1380. So we're a little low. So the question is, what is the question? That's the end of the run. That should be 1620. That is the question. Is this 1620? Pretty good. Okay. I think the pointer's in the right place on the string now. We can proceed with the alignment. Actually, I've done half of it. The oscillator we know the IF is tuned to 455, so we know everything is right. I won't go into it any further than that, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. So let's go down the other end. The radio seems a little bit better off. So if we were to pick off, this is 6 way down here, but on that diagram it showed it differently. Let me just peek at the diagram here myself briefly. It shows it, oddly enough, this is supposed to go all the way by. Just about does it. Just about does it. So that should be appears to be another hole. There's another hole right here. And this hole is the one you're supposed to line this edge up with. I just noticed it now. And it is. It's lined up. So we could go to the 600, but I don't 600 on the pointer or 600 on the edge. Let's dial in 600 up here. 600. Okay, now we're going to tune the radio to hear that. string is still slipping at the extreme ends. The string is still slipping a bit. So this is where 600 falls, and the 600 hole is lining up with the edge, just like it would be up here at 14. So I dare say I've got it. The last stage of the alignment is very easy to do, and this one we do at 1400. And so we'll go up to 1400. We'll do it. That's done at the high end of the band. That should be 1400. Is it? Okay. It's not very strong, is it? So the radio is tuned to the signal generator. Wow. Very weak compared to the other end. This next adjustment may accommodate that. Okay. It's the other capacitor here. I'm going to keep an eye on that meter. I'm trying to peak it up maximum. Come on, radio. Do your thing. Let's see what we got. Anybody? Down here. Station right there. Doesn't seem very happy to me. Most people in Ontario are going to be listening to this lower end of the band, or maybe halfway up, maybe, but not the upper end of the band. It's very unlikely. Let me adjust that antenna adjustment again. Just see if it's weakened the radio something terrible at the low end. No, it is not. I'll return it back. How come we're not getting stuff? Radio's tipped on its side. Okay. Let's keep the video going. I'm going to take off the ground connection here. Set this down the way it's meant to be. Is that really going to help? I don't know. We're going to find out. So this is a normal operating position, if you like. My wife found this somewhere in the house. Okay, back on, power back on. Power didn't come back on. Is the motor blocked? There it goes. Okay, baby, do your thing.
And with everything, there's a cause and effect. What are the potential implications if the sport
That's 590. I tried that antenna adjustment again.
We're seeing it. I mean, there's always
Just go right around.
culture, because I'm not saying just the NHL, because it's other leagues too, but they're a prolific content creator.
Antenna adjustment.
We had a thing with the Florida governor, the Panthers. We had a few other, incidents over time of hockey culture. They are, and it's always something. I mean, even before Joshina and I, turned it.
See how I'm aiming the radio to maximize the incoming signal, but also to minimize the noise signal. The minimizing is actually stronger in an antenna like this. The null is stronger. The null is at right angles from the peak. So you're trying to find the super best compromise, aiming it at the station while aiming it at the null at the noise. That's kind of what's going on. The antenna receives best in this line. So when the radio is put together, you want to aim the radio at the station you're interested in, or aim the radio this way at the noise you don't want. Those two things can conflict. The noise can be in the same direction as the station. You try your best. So listen to that noise. The null is so deep you can practically knock it right out. But look at the change of the angle here. So you have this radio on your table and you're listening to that. You might go over and just do this. Gone. That's a lot better to listen to, isn't it? You're trying to aim it at the station is a little... This is probably better aimed at the station. You see the null is deep in the antenna, but the boost is not very deep. It's not all that great. So there we go. Hey, what's left for this? I'm not going to do anything with this pointer. If you're going to want to see the pointer, you're going to have to look up and try to see this black bar, which I think is visible. It's unfortunate because this is sitting on your kitchen counter. You literally have to pick the radio up and do that. For the most part, with a radio like this, you use the dial to get in the area, and then you're tuning to get the station you want because you can recognize it anyway. Because. So from a practical point of view, this is perfectly satisfactory. The key thing is the dial goes all the way from one side to the other. Still has some stumbling now. With the string falling off the pulley, the overall tension has gone down in the string a little bit. And that may be where the slipping's coming from. I don't notice any slipping here. I don't notice any slipping. Well, it's going pretty good now. Maybe because the radio was on its side. Who knows? I can't imagine that. You notice that too? If the radio in the wrong position, you can't even hear that signal. You wouldn't even know it's there. So you could have the radio in this angle, tune all day. What happened? That's all. Okay. Back in the cabinet and we'll have a look at it. Ooh, I almost forgot about the clock here. So the clock makes that sound, ching, 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 and I think that's related to the motor, and I don't think there's much I can do about that. But I can drop a small amount of oil here and there, small amount being the operative word. We'll just try to help it out a little bit. don't think this is going to stop the noise at all. And I don't want to mess around too much with it. Many of these clocks, they're not even operating at this point. Right down in there. These other ones, I'm not sure I can get at. Some of these wheels are turning so slowly because of the gear ratio. They actually have a lot of power pushing on them. So a little bit of resistance in the bearings here won't matter. It's really this, the fastest spinning part, that is the most sensitive. And these motors aren't meant to be taken apart and put back together. Maybe somebody knows how to do that. So I can certainly feel play in something here. And pretty sure what's happened is the where this has a shaft that goes in through a bearing. The bearing is worn, and so this has got play now. And that's why you're hearing the chick, 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 chick. But also it could be interference here. Maybe something rubbing right. I don't want to fool with this too much. When the motor comes on, the shaft will be driven out or driven in by the magnetism. If it goes out, it will be silent. If it goes in, let's see what happens here. Can I plug this in safely? I think so. We'll know in a moment. Well, that's silent. Wow, that's absolutely silent. Perfect. Oh, did you see it? See it move? Okay, I'm going to try to put this on. Let's see the skid mark inside there. Pretty sure this center raised part is banging into this. Maybe the person had it on an angle. Somehow it got knocked on an angle. They put it on an angle on purpose. Just barely put it on here. Okay, what do you do now? Is it going? Yep. I can hear it. I stick my ear up there. Oh, here comes the radio. Okay, we don't need the radio going. Okay. Now I'll put it all back together. I've got to take this off. Put it all back together. I'm afraid something bad happened here while I was screwing in the clock. The screws got pretty tight, and I broke one of the pillars off, I'm pretty sure. Something I tried to avoid, but that did not succeed here. Shame, 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 shame. Shame be upon my house. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'm always trying to avoid. Something going on here too. The screw won't come out. I've broken into a sweat here. Boy, oh boy. This is not what I wanted to have happen, especially right at the end here. That's just a bad deal. Look at that. Okay, well, this is going to become a little more complicated now. I'm going to have to epoxy this piece back on. What is going wrong here with this whole screw arrangement? Did not work. Did I put the wrong screws in? How could I put the wrong screws in? Let's see, look at this as bad news here. What's happening? The situation is going downhill. Oh my God. You're way up in the sky. You're pay attention to what you're doing. So I haven't wrecked the radio, I just made more work for myself here. Now this is where you make mistakes on top of mistakes. I don't want to do that because this won't come out. Something wrong here. So the metal sleeve has come loose in the plastic piece. The plastic piece is sheared off flat with the cabinet here. The back of the clock fell off and I'm banging this around. It's not protected anymore. Jam. Right at the end. Everything's going south. Right at the end of the project. Oh my, shame on me. I know better than to have this happen. I thought, oh, the screw is almost tight. Just another quarter turn ought to do it. That quarter turn broke it. Was I putting in the wrong screws? How could it be? There's 4 identical screws here. How come they were so tight? It goes in slightly and then it tightens right up. Looks like there's some kind of a gripping arrangement inside there. Yeah, it looks like there's 4... Like instead of a continuous shaft, put the screw through, the shaft is split 4 times, so there's 4 pieces, like fingers now, and you drive the screw up through them. And that must be what grips the screw very firmly. But it also has, look at this, what kills me, it's got a locking washer up here. So why would you need these grippy things on here? Just to wreck my day? Oh, son of a gun. Okay, well, stuff happens when you're doing these, and this is, if you've watched lots of my videos, you know how cautious I am, and I repeatedly say, if you can get away with not doing it, it might be better to not do it, because in the course of doing it, something else may happen that you didn't anticipate, and then you're in the jackpot. That's where I am now. Jackpotted. Now, epoxy applied properly, this thing will be as strong as new. But I'm going to drive the screw back into it and have it just, I mean, it won't tolerate the screw going in. Okay, I got to go away and think for a while. I gotta lick my wounds. Well, did I mention I don't have any epoxy? So I can't complete this radio until I get some epoxy and repair it. So it's going to go away like it is now, and you're going to see it again though, because this isn't the only radio that Mrs. M gave me to work on. In fact, this is kind of the practice radio. Here's her fantastic looking radio here. So I'll be doing this guy in a few days, and by then I'll have some epoxy, so get this guy done, get that guy done, and we'll see them both finished then. So thanks a lot for watching to this point. And next thing on my bench though is going to be a record player. See ya.